All right, folks, today is World Cancer Day, a global initiative to educate and raise awareness about the disease and reduce preventable deaths. According to the World Health Organization, in 2020, cancer accounts for 10 million deaths worldwide. President Joe Biden reinvigorated his Moonshot proposal when it comes to cutting cancer deaths in half. And so joining us right now is Dr. Hadiyah-Nicole Green, that's what I said. I'm glad you ain't got that big old ass Delta pen you had on the other night. My Lord, y'all, she had a billboard on.
Before we go there, I just want to take a moment to thank you and tell you a couple of things.
What you want?
Because when you had me on in 2015, when I first got the VA grant for $1 million for my research, that launched my career. And after that, the awards came rolling in from Ebony Power 100, the Root 100, to USA Today naming me as one of the 100 most inspiring women of the century, along with Eleanor Roosevelt and Rosa Parks. And I know you weren't in the lab with me, but you using your platform, your show at that time, to elevate the work that I'm doing made a huge difference, because scientists like me are usually hidden figures. And because of you, I am not a hidden figure. And I just want to publicly say thank you. And I know we have our friendship and we laugh and joke, but I didn't take that opportunity last time I was on. And I just want to say that this time. I just want to tell you how much I appreciate you always looking out for me and having my back and making sure that, you know, we keep our friendship intact. So I just want to publicly say thank you for your support, encouragement, and for using your platform to elevate the work that I'm doing.
Well, I appreciate that. It's always, of course, important for us to use our platforms to do so. And I'm sure one day at your wedding, I'll be saying congratulations to farmersonly.com. Y'all, it's an inside joke. You know, I had to go ahead and crack on you on that one. So, y'all, we always joke.
I try to be nice.
Oh, no, come on now. You know I was going to bring up the farmersonly.com. Don't even try. You know this.
So let me say, for the inside joke, if you want to help a sister out.
She was talking about how I was struggling dating, and she's like, I'm just a country girl. I was like, yo, farmersonly.com, hook a country girl up.
You finished? Are you done?
Oh, you know I had to mess with you. All right.
We're trying to talk about saving cancer patients. I am single, but my personal life is my personal life. Anybody interested, call Roland and give
This is a full service show. It's a full service show. Y'all call me. I'm going to run a background check. Just letting y'all know.
Good.
I know people. Go ahead. All right. Let's talk about President Biden this week. Brought back his Moonshot cancer idea. Your thoughts about that?
Okay. So I think the Cancer Moonshot Initiative is amazing. If we can put a man on the moon, surely we should be able to cure cancer. Having 9-10 million people a year die from cancer worldwide, when we have the best technology, we have the most state-of-the-art equipment, we are at the forefront of everything from cars to cell phones, why shouldn't we cure cancer? So I think the Moonshot Initiative is noteworthy. My caution, my reservation, my lack of enthusiasm exists, and I would retract the word caution and say my lack of enthusiasm exists because the first time when the Moonshot was launched, I was so excited thinking, okay, when President Nixon in 1942 declared the war on cancer and started the National Cancer Institute, they had the same moonshot. They just didn't call it the Cancer Moonshot Initiative. So when President Obama put President Biden in the position to oversee eradicating cancer, and it's not, I can't say, I'm not pointing fingers or blaming anything, but we already had a National Cancer Institute. And the same experts that have been using chemotherapy and radiation as the standard of care, those same experts were hired and solicited to bring forth this Cancer Moonshot Initiative. Well, they added immunotherapy, but it's still the same inside the box thinking that still causes nearly 9 million people a year to die from cancer because that technology, that approach is limited. And I'm not saying it doesn't work for some cancers, because it's very effective for early stage cancers, which is why early detection is important. It can save your life. If you get diagnosed with stage 1, stage 2 breast or prostate cancer, the current treatments that are available, you can go on to live another 20 or 30 years and die from something else. My vision, what I would like to see with the new cancer moonshot, is diversity in the type of people who are on the panel, the type of people who determine what they will fund, the type of people who get funded. Because there was a serious lack of diversity the last time the moonshot was launched. Mm-hmm. And there wasn't representation from HBCUs almost at all, or the African American community. There was very little diversity at all. But to take the same people, and not that the people at the National Cancer Institute aren't doing the best they know, but if you use the same box to address the same problem, you're gonna get the same outcome. So unless they bring in fresh thought, fresh ideas that's outside of what we've already been doing, we're gonna get the same outcome. And since your show, I've been fundraising through my nonprofit, the OraLeeFoundation Cancer Research Foundation, to help offset the disparities that African American scientists faced in getting research funded. It's not just me. It's literally a national problem that was brought out in the forefront during the Black Lives Matter movement by the head of the National Institutes of Health. There is a documented disparity in the funding of African American scientists. So the moonshot should be able to address that, especially for the technology I've developed that has already demonstrated complete elimination of human cancer after one treatment over the course of 15 days with no observable side effects, no chemotherapy, no radiation, and no surgery. So we have already developed technology, and we're moving into clinical trials with limited funding when there are people who have technology or treatments that aren't as effective that get funding. There is a huge disparity in funding. So like you, starting your own show, I started my own nonprofit so that I can allow people who feel as passionately about curing cancer as I do to fund my research without having to wait on everybody else to do something that we literally could do.
How much? So your goal was what? 30 million?
Yes.
And where are you now?
Sadly, Roland, I'm at 2 million. And that's a good thing and a bad thing, because there have only been, before the Black Lives Matter movement, there were only 12 other African American tech startup founders that raised $2 million or more. So I made history getting to this $2 million point, but it's still sad because we can't get started. It's not enough to start. And people always think, oh, I thought the celebrities were going to donate. I thought you would get government funding. And what about grants? And what about this? And the frustration is the people who get diagnosed with cancer, they come, can you help me? Can you take me in the back of the lab? We don't have the money to do an official, legitimate clinical trial. Mm-hmm. So it's not that people don't know about what I'm doing. People assume that other people are going to fund me, and they don't take the time to go to OraLee.org and simply donate and become a monthly donor.
And explain to people as best that you can in layman's terms, your research and what it has been able to accomplish. And then I'm going to go to questions from Michael, Kelly, and Matt. Go.
Okay. So my research in layman's terms is I'm zapping cancer. I'm using some new technology that causes us to be able to heat up that local area with lasers and extremely T9C tiny particles that allow us to provide a local killing of cancer at the site of the tumor. After one treatment, we've demonstrated, published in peer-reviewed journal, been funded by the Department of Veteran Affairs, we can kill cancer, human cancer, in mice. How'd I do, Roland?
There you go. You didn't use that nano, whatever the hell you did the first.
Stop hating on nanoparticles, Roland.
Yeah, man, she came on the show like, well, yeah, these nanoparticles. I said, girl, just say small. Just say tiny.
You're a very intelligent man. You can learn a new word.
Boo. I don't. This ain't. I'm gonna keep teaching you. You don't know. I'm gonna keep teaching you. Like Joe Madison say, put it where the goats can get it.
Okay.
Put it where the goats can get it. All right, Kelly, your question first.
First of all, thank you for coming on the show. This has been very enlightening, and I feel like I've seen your work pop up on my feed several times. So I'm just, excited to see what's going to happen with this. But my main question is, what do you think is taking so long in terms of government support, in terms of even private sector support? Is this a big pharma issue? Is this more political than anything, or more racial than anything, given that a Black woman is heading this up? What do you think is the disconnect between you getting the funding you need and, frankly, us getting a cure for cancer?
So I think that's an excellent question. Thank you for that. It's a great question, but it's difficult for me to answer. But I'll give you what people have said to me. People have literally said to me, if I were a white man, I would have had more funding than I knew what to do with. I've had people tell me all kinds of horrible things, from it's because I wear my hair natural, or because I have a country accent, or because I went to an HBCU and not an Ivy League school, and because I'm not sexually active. If I were putting out, I would have the money already. And it just the horrendous things that across the spectrum people have said to me that may have some truth to them. The other aspect, when I started my nonprofit, I wanted to be able to circumvent all the foolishness and shenanigans and shift the power dynamic, usher in something independent of what everybody else could control, and something that I can maintain control of. So with my nonprofit, it allows people who also share this belief that we can cure cancer if we can have satellites in outer space tell whether a dime on the ground is face up or face down, and your watch can make a phone call now. Why can't we cure cancer? Why not? Like, what are we doing here? So when people support my nonprofit, we're not just supporting the idea of the hope of one day curing cancer. I've already developed the technology, and the funding that we're raising goes directly towards paying the cost of beginning and conducting human clinical trials. It's a tangible alternative to the other big cancer charities that exist. So when I put my nonprofit out as an avenue, an opportunity for people to support actual research, boots on the ground, you see me as the principal investigator, as the inventor, as the scientist from St. Louis. I'm us, right? So when people see me, they don't care that I have 3 degrees in physics, that I graduated with a 4.0 grade point average as a physics major. They don't care that I interned at NASA. They don't care that I interned at University of Rochester. They don't care that I calibrated lasers for the International Space Station. They don't care that I trained for 5 years at the Comprehensive Cancer Center. They don't care that I trained for a year in the Department of Pathology. They don't care about any of my credentials. They just look at me and say, no, you couldn't have done that. You don't even look old enough to have done that. You don't have enough gray hair. Your voice isn't deep enough. You need to have a male spokesperson to help you get this done. Show more cleavage. That'll help. I've had all kinds of things, but when people have the opportunity to level the playing field, I'm still, in our own community, I'm still met with skepticism of people saying, no, that's not true. You didn't do what you did. Like, you don't know my life. Google me. Not trying to be arrogant at all, but people take one glance at me, and I'm the epitome of people judging the book by its cover, and they declare, no, that's not true. And I know there's a lot of mistrust in the medical community. A lot of people have residual emotions about being taken advantage of in the past. So I personally don't have any scandals or anything in my record that would cause someone to be skeptical. But sometimes it's just pure ignorance, because we in our community don't usually see someone who looks like us, who has the same education as Albert Einstein. I'm literally one of the first African-American women in the country to earn a PhD in physics. So people look at me and don't even know what to do with me. And I appreciate Roland trying to help people see that I'm relatable, that I'm a human. And I didn't ask for this calling, this assignment in life. It came. But when people see what I'm doing, they immediately go to what they think is or is not possible, and they put those limitations, or they assume somebody else is going to support instead of them chipping in $10 a month, $100 a month, and helping, because every dollar counts. When I was on Roland Martin in 2016, we put the call to action out, and he posted that interview on his Facebook, and it had more than 14 million views. I'm not saying that to brag, but if every person who saw that and made comments and suggested that I ask Oprah and Tyler Perry, if I had $1 for everybody who saw that video and took time to write in and make suggestions, I would have had the money to do at least the first 5 or 10 patients in humans. So people think my little bit isn't enough. You need 10 million, you need 30 million. My $1 won't count. But the reality is there have been millions of people seeing, liking, and sharing the memes about me being the first Black woman to cure cancer, or the first person to cure cancer. People have seen the memes, but they're not understanding I simply can't do this by myself. I need help.
Michael.
All right. Thanks, Dr. Hadiyah. Thanks for coming on. My question was, what are other, in addition to supporting you financially at OraLeeFoundation, what are other ways that you need support? Do you need more media coverage? Do you need us to contact members of the Congressional Black Caucus? What are other, people need to donate. Because it takes money to do all this, but what are other ways?
You said all of the above.
All of the above. I need help with marketing. I need help with fundraising. I need help with making phone calls. We have a volunteer team. People can sign up at oralee.org/volunteer. And everything from literally A to Z, helping us create posts for social media, donating your birthday on Facebook, changing your Amazon to support a charity, and you can select the Ora Lee Smith Cancer Research Foundation as your charity of choice. When you shop, Amazon doesn't charge you any, but they will donate. We have workplace employee matching programs everywhere from Boeing to Delta Airlines and IBM and Microsoft. So the spectrum of employee giving programs are available. If they're not at your job, you can ask, and it's an easy process to set it up. We also are an official 501c3 nonprofit, so people can name us in their wills and their life insurance policies. They can gift us property, houses, cars, anything you can write off on your taxes. We are able to accept those type of gifts. And there are things where a personal introduction to some of the family offices, the trusts, the home offices where potential high dollar donors keep their money, and having people manage those funds, having personal introductions to open those doors. People assume I have this network. I spent 7 years in the lab developing the technology, and Roland was one of the only people who would invite me to events where there are people there who could support. But I'm a tech nerd. I was also Miss Alabama A&M University. I don't have a problem speaking to people, but having that exposure, having those introductions, having that opportunity to even introduce the Ora Lee Smith Cancer Research Foundation, and having people know that this is an option for their charity of choice. And just to put a pin in this one point, people don't realize that Susan G. Komen and American Cancer Society combined raise over $1 billion a year in charitable donations and sponsorships. $1 billion a year. And for 5 years, I've been struggling to raise $10 and $30 million.
Hold up. You said Susan G. Komen and what's the other one?
American Cancer Society.
Got it.
And mostly up to today, All of our Black Greek letter organizations in the D9 have been supporting these other major charities, and I've been meeting with them. They have agreed that they want to support. So if anyone who is an earshot away from leadership in your Divine Nine organization, please call and encourage them to support the OraLee Smith Cancer Research Foundation, even with the support of the Divine Nine, with the support of our African American professional organizations, from NSBE to the Black MBAs, like all of the above, the Black golfers, the Black skiers. We could fund this in our community.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Matt.
So first, Dr. Green, let me say, Roland went to school way out there with the pigs and the cows and the horses, so I'm sure he knows a lot of country brothers. And if he hasn't introduced you, that's on him.
Remember, I went to Texas A&M, so it's a whole bunch of country white guys. So I'm familiar with farmersonly.com, so just letting you know, because you're right, Texas A&M, they know about livestock and agriculture. So I know a couple of country brothers. But I don't do that hookup stuff, because if it don't work out, then they mad at me. So I don't even do that. So I just like, hey, yo, what up? I don't introduce people, because I ain't having her cuss me out later. Like, Roland, why you introduce me? See.
Have you ever heard me cuss, Roland?
Huh?
No. Have you
if
ever
I introduce you to the wrong brother, you're gonna cuss me out. Man, ask your question.
Can't be
I'm
worse.
sorry, I couldn't resist, because I know where you went to school, way out in the boonies. Here's a question I have for you, Dr. Green. What have you found are disparities or issues with access for our community to cancer treatment, cancer in general? And what have you found is a successful way to make people understand how important your work is? Because you have literally cured cancer. So it makes no sense that you aren't having people just give you boatloads of money. So what have you found in our communities, particularly, are the disparities in terms of our access and also in terms of our willingness to give?
So great question. So I'll start with the disparities to access and outcomes. For example, African American women are more likely to get diagnosed with breast cancer and sadly more likely to die from it. Same with African American men are more likely to be diagnosed with prostate cancer and are more likely to die from it than our Caucasian counterparts. One of the things that I realized after news about my work started going viral is that members of our community feel very comfortable and safe coming to me, but they usually are in a position where they are desperate. They've been sent home and told there's nothing else we can do. Part of the problem is we're not getting screened early enough. We're not exercising, keeping our diets. We're not being health conscious. We are unaware of the number of carcinogens in fast food and the products that we use trying to be cute. We're not aware of how unhealthy some cleaning products are, how unhealthy our air is. Most people don't use an air purifier, even though they should. So there are a lot of things that we are doing, our grandmama's recipes that we inherited, that's part of our love language. I do think food is the sixth love language, just side note. And I think that how we eat matters. And there is this thought process of eat to live. And a lot of people are doing the plant-based diets. And there's a lot of data behind how eating more colorful fruits and vegetables can help your body naturally fight off cancer. So starting with our diet to our levels of stress, stress has been scientifically documented to make cancer grow faster. So when you're dealing with people who are dealing with racism, dealing with higher levels of stress, all kinds of family drama, work drama, life drama, traffic drama, just drama on top of drama. And we're in the middle of a pandemic. So that's also stress. So when you know stress is making your health worse and causing cancer to grow faster, and you're not getting the checkups and you're not exercising, which also helps with stress, which also helps with cancer prevention, but you're not doing those things because you're too busy and you're working two jobs and all of these things, right? So our socioeconomic status puts us at a disadvantage. They can even document by zip code that in certain neighborhoods, your likelihood of surviving cancer drops drastically. So when we're looking at doctors having documentation that they think African Americans have a higher tolerance for pain than everybody else. We don't, but the average doctor thinks that. So one of the biggest ways to address health disparities is for us to find doctors who look like us. There's a documentation that African American mothers have less death, less mortality when they go to an African American OBGYN. So I'm not going to lay out any conspiracy theories. I don't believe in that. I try to give you guys fact-based information. The data shows that African Americans have a better outcome over many health issues if you go to a doctor who looks like you. So that's one of the most tangible ways in all of the other diet, exercise to improve our health disparities when it comes to cancer and all health conditions. I think the side part of that, people really aren't dying from stage 1, stage 2 cancer, because that's very treatable with the current methods for treating cancer. Where we fall short is that we're not getting our regular checkups. We're not getting our mammograms at 40. We're not getting our prostate cancer exams at 40. We should be getting them earlier, because we saw with Chadwick Boseman, we don't need to wait until 50 to get screened for colon cancer. We don't need to wait until we're 50 and 55. For most of us, that's too late. So getting those screenings, the early detection will save us. It help improve our health disparities. So what happens though, most of us are so busy, we don't notice the car is not working until the wheel falls off. So by the time we go to the doctor and get diagnosed with cancer, we're stage 3, stage 4, and the current treatments don't work. So that brings me to when you ask what's interfering with our willingness to give. So there's a lot. We don't think ahead. We don't think about how can I help if cancer runs in my family, or I know I'm not leading a certain lifestyle, or I like cigarettes or cigars and I'm doing things that could put me at a high risk for any type of cancer. I'm eating a lot of red meat, whatever it is. And most people don't realize that genetic cancers are only responsible for about 15% of cancer cases. So all other cancer is preventable. Now, why people wait until, the last minute to think about things? Most people in the African American community don't have life insurance. We should. That would help us improve our wealth generationally, but we don't set our families up to succeed. And most of us won't go to the doctor to get our annual checkup to save our lives when we know early detection can save your life. So when you ask, why aren't people in our community donating when they are aware of what I've done? Because they don't come to me until they need me. And when they need me, it's too late. And I haven't had the money to do what I need to go through the FDA to make a legitimate clinical trial.
Well, look, OraLee.org, OraLee.org. And so I'm sitting here, I'm looking on the website, folks. This is the donate page. Y'all can actually go to that and check that out and to donate. And so I have some other thoughts about donate. I'm gonna call you when the show's over because it's like we got to make it easier for folks to donate. And I did send a text to 3 billionaires about your research.
Thank you, Roland.
As you were talking. So
thank you.
One of them has already responded, so we'll see if the other 2 respond. So folks, as she said, though, it's not always about the folks with big money. Again, every dollar counts. And so everybody who's sitting here can, and then on your site, of course, you got 50, 100, 250 other, but you can put in any amount, of course, in here. Suppose y'all can do one time. Hey, come on, thank you. Y'all can do one time, y'all can do monthly, you can do annually right here by donating. And so if I look, go ahead.
And the attribute your support to, you can skip that. Some people want to donate under a specific group, but you don't have to. You can skip that. And everything else should be straightforward.
So There are, so let me shout out Mike V. I see you on YouTube. He just dropped $250 on
Thank
your
you.
page. So there are 1,500 of you who are watching live right now on the YouTube channel. And then if I don't know how many on Facebook, Facebook actually has been throttling our numbers down. They've been screwing us over. We got 1.3 million followers on Facebook, but they've been only letting about 300 folks watch. So there's 131 of y'all on Facebook. I told you they're screwing us. Plus people on the Black Star Network app. So here's the deal. Folks, if you're watching, I don't care if you give $1. I don't care if you give $1. Every dollar counts. I tell y'all that about supporting this show. Every dollar counts. So please, if you should do that. What I'm gonna do is, you know, I'll do this here. So you know, let me just do this here. So let's see here. So 1,500 of you are on YouTube right now, and then 130 on Facebook. There are several hundred of you who are on the Black Star Network app. And so y'all have 24 hours to give. And so what I'll do is I'll match up to 5,000 of our fan base who gives. And so, Doc, you got 24 hours. You got to tell me how many people.
Thank you.
So it's 8:17. So we came on by 8 o'clock. So 8 o'clock, I'm gonna hit you at 8:01 p.m. tomorrow.
Okay.
And I want to know how much you got.
Okay.
So how much you got in the last 24 hours? Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you, Roland.
I appreciate it. Thanks a bunch. All right, folks. Back to our Roland Martin Unfiltered video in just one moment. Folks, Black Star Network is here.
Hold no punches. I'm real revolutionary right now.
Support this man, Black Media. He makes sure that our stories are told.
Thank you for being the voice of Black America, Roland.
Stay black. I love y'all.
All momentum we have now, we have to keep this going.
The video looks phenomenal.
See, there's a difference between Black Star Network and black-owned media and something like CNN.
You can't be black-owned media and be scared.
It's time to be smart.
Bring your eyeballs home.
You dig?